with you guys. Very fine interactive session, more than just an AME. So we're looking forward to very vital information from you guys and a very enjoyable moment. Also, I want to use this time to, on behalf of Crypto Attack, I want to say welcome and talking to the audience. We have an AMA today with status, and our guests here are going to be talking to us, about the project and answering some of our questions. And we would be taking some questions from the Twitter segment and also from the live segment as well. So this session is going to cover all category, all three segments of the session. Have it in mind, guys, that this is not a financial advice. Everyone must make sure to do their own research. So by so doing, guys, you make sure to go to Crypto Attack, and you would find the announcement has been pinned. You check the website, go to the website, visit them on the Telegram community, and also do well to have a proper follow up on X Space. So let's go quickly to the business of the day. We would have, our guests in the room give the community a very good introduction. We would like to know you more. So please introduce yourself to the community and your background, and also tell us about your experience in the blockchain.
Hey, yeah. So I'm Edgard, one of the status CCs. I've been into blockchain for a long time, from back in the Bitcoin days before Ethereum, um, and yeah. Been part of status for many years now, and excited to be here.
All right,
Hello.
happy to have you here. So, Aaron.
Hey, folks, my name is Aaron. You might also know me as Chair in this place and that. I am the program manager for Waku, which is a protocol that Status uses for its messaging layer. I first learned about Ethereum after already knowing about Bitcoin uh, from my 4chan perusing around 2010. This was my first exposure, but I first learned about Ethereum in 2016 at an unsanctioned rave in the Joshua Tree Desert. And from that moment forward, it completely changed and shaped the course of my life right up until this moment, as the life cycle of Ethereum very much has influenced my own personal life cycle, and incredibly passionate about what blockchain as a whole can unlock, and Ethereum specifically, or at least the original Ethereum vision. And really proud and happy to be contributing in the way and to what I am. And thank you for being here. Thank you for propping us up, and excited to be here today.
All right, thank you so much. Those were very amazing backgrounds and very awesome introductions. So quickly, what inspired? What is the inspiration behind status, and why do we need status currently in the space?
Oh, good question. I think a quick trip down memory lane to kind of where it all began. So there was Ethereum, but then before Ethereum there was Bitcoin, but then before Bitcoin there was the cypherpunk movement. So I think the inspiration for status really comes from the cypherpunk movement, which was a movement to use privacy technologies, cryptography, to really as a tool for freedom. And it's yeah, it was a bit of an underground movement. There were many, many experiments. In the 80s. It started in the 80s, in the 90s. Various kind of projects grew out of it. There was eGold, various other things. PGP, if anyone remembers that. Um, and one of the things that was then kind of born from the cypherpunk movement was Bitcoin. Really, I think Bitcoin is kind of the yeah, is one of that children of that movement to, how could we use cryptography to give to give autonomy and freedom to individuals, and let individuals really you have more control of their lives and be able to self determine themselves really. Um, so Bitcoin was an amazing innovation. It was, I mean, for me, I had a personal light bulb moment in my head when I realized that the combination of digital scarcity that was fully decentralized and was programmable would, it's something that will change the world. It's already been changing the world. This was a long time ago. Um, but Bitcoin was the first attempt, and you know things, it's technology. The things move on. And then there was, I don't know if anyone remembers this, there was the block size wars, and there was a lot of friction in the Bitcoin core dev space back in 2014. um, and then Vitalik came along, and there were a bunch of people in the Bitcoin space experimenting with how Bitcoin could not just be this pet rock that you transfer from one person to another, but how you could do more things with it. There was colored coins, for example, was one of those experiments, and Vitalik was involved in some of these. And he they got there were a bunch of people who saw the Bitcoin vision as being much bigger than just Bitcoin. And there was this battle within the Bitcoin movement over which direction Bitcoin should take. And Vitalik wrote his original white paper on to propose Ethereum as a blockchain, as well as a decentralized technology stack that could make it possible to build full applications that would be as good as anything, eventually would hopefully grow to be as good as anything in the Web 2 world, but entirely decentralized, running in a virtual space that's outside of the jurisdiction of any government. And if we go back to this, the original Ethereum vision, there was actually three pillars of it. There was Ethereum, the blockchain, which is really the layer for doing the business logic around of the decentralized application. There was Ethereum Swarm, which was the decentralized storage layer, where you paid the protocol for durability guarantees. And there was Whisper, that was the messaging layer. And the original Ethereum thinking was with these three ingredients, with a blockchain for doing basically the database, the coordination, the business logic, the decentralized storage layer, and the decentralized messaging layer, you could really create truly decentralized applications. I think I'd actually probably add you need a decentralized compute layer as well to that mix. So Ethereum started off, and I won't go through the whole history, of Ethereum. But what really ended up happening is the Ethereum blockchain, which is what everyone associates with Ethereum today, took off. Obviously, it's taken much longer than everyone expected to get it to the point of scaling. But Swarm didn't really work out, and Whisper got abandoned. So when Status was originally founded, it was this very optimistic time, not too long after the founding of Ethereum, and we assumed that all of the infrastructure that would be needed to create Status's vision would exist. There'd be a scalable blockchain we could use, there'd be this decentralized storage layer, and there would be this messaging layer, and Status could build on top of it. What actually happened, Swarm's still about, but it hasn't really succeeded at this point. And as I said, Whisper got abandoned, and then there were the scalability issues, which I think we're now on a good way to solving with, proto-dank sharding and L2s. But yeah, those ingredients didn't exist. And so that's kind of the background of kind of where Status has come from. And Status aims to be the vision of Status is to be like a super app or an operating system for decentralized applications. So ideally, to build truly decentralized applications. So to start off, like today, what we call dApps, they're not really that good and they're not really that decentralized. First of all, a lot of dApp UIs are hosted in centralized servers, and there's the dirty secret of blockchain that everyone's hitting Infura or an Infura competitor. And that's really not decentralized either. And then there's many things. dApps are really front ends at the moment to basic smart contracts, all the really exciting stuff. The Web 2 stuff, that original vision, we need that storage layer and the messaging layer and the compute layer as well. So yeah, in an ideal world where everyone is using decentralized applications that are outside of any national jurisdiction, the ideal way to do that is you'd have this nodes built into operating systems. So when a user used Windows or Linux, you could write an application that would call this node software, and this node's the blockchain node software, the storage node software, the decentralized messaging node software, and decentralized compute node software would interact with all of these decentralized networks in a decentralized way. Now, it's going to take a long time for it to get into operating systems, and building an operating system is hard. So Status set out to do the next best thing, which was basically build an operating system inside an application. And so this is the super app. And coming back to kind of nearer term, the status vision is to initially build something more along the lines of WeChat, but decentralized and privacy preserving. So a application which you can run truly decentralized apps permissionlessly, that also has some built-in social and messaging functionality. Sorry, that was really long. You probably have a lot of questions. I'll shut up now.
Yeah, that was absolutely vital and well detailed. I just took a few observations, from what you just said, and I think it's actually quite important that I ask the questions about scalability. Talking about how do you really ensure scalability within the D app, and also what incentives do users have to actually participate in your D app?
Yeah, so talking about scalability, so we use many different decentralized technologies. So, and so it's really, we're talking about the scalability of those decentralized technologies. So let's go through them one by one. So on the blockchain layer, the scalability L2s are the most promising direction, and we've got EVM compatible L2s here at the moment. So that's the scalability at the blockchain layer. On the messaging layer, this is Waku that we're working on, and Waku is a gossip network, which is very good for a bunch of privacy properties. It gives good metadata privacy protection, but the challenge with any gossip network is scalability. So this has been the big focus of the Waku team, and we have various sharding schemes to basically have many individual Waku networks. So you can have, although there's a total limit on any one Waku network, you can have X number of Waku networks. So that's the scalability there. For the community history archive service, we actually use Torrent. Torrent is super scalable in terms of the number of people who can seed and leech a torrent. The one axis torrent is not very scalable on is the number of simultaneous torrents you can have running on a single device. So we've optimized this so there's only one torrent needed per community. And then on the storage layer, we have a project called Codex that isn't. It's getting close to production now, and again, they're focusing on scalability a lot and using some very torrent-like approaches actually there. And then everything else is built on top of these base kind of decentralized technology building blocks. And I think there was another question you asked.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah, because you answered the first part of my question. I can circle back and ask about incentives. Like, what incentives do users have to to participate in your D app?
Yes, good question. So we have something we have to be quite careful when we talk about. But we have, I think today, just published a blog post. I'm not sure if it's been tweeted yet. I don't know. Aaron, do you know if it's been tweeted? Yay, it's been tweeted. So we have, we've asked our community to vote on a number of proposals. One of those proposals is for Status Network, which is an L2 blockchain. Another of those proposals is for SNT staking. We're going to be talking a bunch more about these in the coming weeks. And these will provide a bunch of incentives for SNT holders, and there'll be a whole bunch of things that SNT holders will be able to do and benefits they'll derive from it. In terms of incentives to use the product, so if another way of thinking, there are many ways to think about Status, is it's actually a platform that has a number of different apps. So it's got a wallet app, like a messaging app, and also a Discord competitor. On the Discord competitor side, the incentive for an individual user to use it is really if there's a community that they want to engage with that uses Status instead of Discord, and they really want to be part of that community chat, then they would have to go to status. So the problem or the challenge for status is then how do we attract those communities to status? And now that once we have our product out of beta, there'll be a bunch of things we'll be doing there to attract content creators and communities to use status as their group chat space. And then anybody who follows those content creators or communities would then go to status if they want to be part of that group chat area.
All right. Thank you so much. That was absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for touching on those questions and also the follow-up questions. It's nice to know that Status is actually doing its best to to stand out from every other project out there. So, what makes the new Status wallets a true multi-chain experience, and how is this different from other wallets out there?
Just before getting onto that, I realise I've been talking quite a bit and haven't really let Aaron get a word in. So I was wondering, Aaron, just before coming on to this question, any thoughts on the SNT staking or anything we've just discussed?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for serving me up. I think I personally have to consistently and constantly translate things to myself, just to make myself understand and sort of smooth brainify things for my own self. And the TLDR, I think, are the big takeaway that I would like the audience to come away with, or one of them, as there are many, is that Discord and Telegram are by default and incredibly bad for privacy, and are not built with privacy in mind at all. And when we're talking about crypto, Ethereum specifically, communities that are centered and based around it, communities that share tokens and assets and ideals and morals, a much more natural home for those communities is Status, for the out-of-the-box token gating functionality, for the decentralized and privacy-centric way in which it is built. It is the platform that I have seen people consistently and constantly complaining about the privacy features or lack thereof of Discord, and Telegram is in that group as well, in that for all of the encryption claims that they make, they routinely and regularly share whatever governments and agencies ask them to share. And there are many implications with that. Status is the super app, the crypto-centric, the Ethereum-centric crypto super app that kills those applications. And once Status Beta Desktop has been released and Status V2 Mobile Beta is on its way, and once those are out, and certainly once the production main releases are out, there will be no more excuses for anyone to complain about how intrusive Discord is, how intrusive Telegram is, because everyone going forward, and if you're a community manager or you're someone who is planning on building a community, you very much need to be and should be considering and planning for moving your or starting your community on the Status app. For that is going to be the home of crypto and Web3 centric projects going forward. And all of the utility and functionality is structured, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Edgard, but it is structured for that in mind, to serve those communities and to bolster people's privacy. And the utility of SNT token, which I believe is available right now to trade on Binance, will play very much into that.
Yeah, thanks for the more TLDR. I mean, the key thing is, how can, for example, a DAO, a digital autonomous organization, be the autonomous bit if the whole organization is happening on Discord, like a centralized platform where everything is monitored, where the community doesn't own its data, and that can be shut down in an instant. If there's a DAO and it's using Discord, and Discord shuts their Discord down and the DAO ceases to function, I don't think it can call itself autonomous. And this isn't a theoretical risk. Recently, Discord shut down a bunch of Discord servers run by people in the Nintendo emulation space. In fact, not only did it shut them down, anyone who'd been admin on any of those Discords was banned from Discord entirely. Any Discord, permaban. Or take Wall Street Bets. Remember when the GameStop thing was happening a couple of years ago? Right in the middle of that, the Wall Street Bets Discord got shut down. So yeah, how can you be a DAO if you're using a centralized service as the heart of your community? Same for DeFi. How can you be a DeFi project if your entire community is living on Discord and there's a switch of a button and you can be shut down? And remember, who owns the data? If you're using a centralized service, your users, your community members, your data, they're the property of the centralized service, something that people are discovering about Reddit. So yeah, that's another way to look at status. We're trying to be the, with communities and with messaging and with everything we're trying to do. We're aiming to be a decentralized social and compute platform where people are in control, both individuals and communities are in control of their own data and their own destiny, and they can't be shut down because they're not relying on any centralized service.
All right, thank you so much. That's absolutely amazing. First of its kind, actually, because of a lot of restrictions that actually comes, with decentralized platforms, like you've said. So, with all you've said, I think we have confidence going into status, and we're looking forward to more innovation. So let's circle back to the questions about the new status wallet, about what makes it a true multi-chain experience, like what makes the new status wallet a true multi-chain experience, and how is it different from other wallets out there?
Yeah, so I think the thing about the status wallet is from the very beginning, it's been designed to be multi-chain right from the start. So now what we're seeing is, there's so many chains out there, and you have your tokens, you have an address, and then for that address, you've got your tokens on Arbitrum, you've got your tokens on Optimism, you've got your tokens on Linear, you've got tokens on Scroll, all with the same address, but spread across all these networks. And then let's say you want to send someone tokens, you have to not just ask what's your address, but also what networks are you happy to receive funds on. And it's just another layer of complexity, managing your balances across all the networks, having to manually bridge tokens, remember which network to send things on. And so what we do with the status is we optionally abstract that all away from the user. So to use status, you don't even need to know what an L2 is. You go to the wallet and you see the aggregate balance across all the chains we support for each of your tokens. So if you've got 50 SNT on mainnet, 50 on Optimism, and 50 on Arbitrum, you'll just see that you've got 150 SNT. And then when you go to send someone tokens, so if I go to send Chair some tokens, Chair can give me a multi-chain address. We've taken an existing standard EIP 3770 and extended it slightly to signal multiple chain short names. So Aaron can give me a multi-chain address. And so this will be an address with ETH::opt::arb, which says, to my wallet, I don't need to know this, it's just talking to our software saying the person is happy to receive funds on all these chains, and then I could enter 120 SNT, hit send, and then we've got a client-side routing algorithm that automatically looks at gas prices across all the chains. It looks at the balances the sender has of the token they want to send across all chains. It looks at the chains the recipient is happy to receive funds on. It looks at bridge prices, and it works out the optimal solution instantly. almost instantly, and then the user can hit send, and then it sends. Then we've got a thing called a transaction bundle. So when a user hits send once and signs a transaction, they can actually be signing a bundle of transactions that execute the optimal way to get tokens from A to B. And yeah, that kind of thinking. It's like we want. We're not interested in, you know, really competing in the crypto space. If you think of the people who actually use crypto, like actually used apps or actually interacting with things, it's a very small number of people. The people who speculate on crypto but don't actually use it, that's a much larger group. But the people who never use crypto at all, that's the vast majority of the world. And we want to be a product that people who've never used crypto in their life before use, not because they're into open source, not because they're into crypto, but because we do things they need. They need to do better than anything else. They're centralized or not centralized. And in order to do that, we have to make a product that's usable by everyone, not just crypto geeks. And one of the problems we had to solve was, how do we make this whole multi-chain thing usable? Because you know, someone who isn't a crypto geek, really, the one thing people never asked to change about the existing financial system and system of bank transfers was, no one said, oh, could I do manual routing of SWIFT transactions? And that's basically what we're asking crypto users to do today. So we're just trying to make crypto really usable, give users all the benefits of multi-chain in terms of scalability, low transaction fees, without having to expose any of that complexity to them. Chair,
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah.
Anything you want to add there?
Oh, that was quite thorough. It's no, not at the moment. Thank you.
All right. So when will the final release of the status mobile and desktop app actually happen?
So we're currently targeting August. That said, our desktop beta 2, we released that, when was it, yesterday? So you can go to our website, you can get that now. We're going to be releasing the first beta of our mobile application in a couple of days' time, next week. The countdown to that has started. But yeah, August is when we're aiming for. Not long. The amount of work this has taken us, to give you an idea, you know, we've been working on this for years. We are consistently in the top 10 of the most active projects in the crypto space. You know, sometimes number 2, sometimes number 4, sometimes number 6, sometimes number 3. This is out of all crypto projects, like every crypto project. So we're like top 10 in terms of our development activity, and we've been working for years on this. So it's been a massive effort, but it's good to finally be there.
And so I have one thing to add there in terms of, like, very consistently, Status and Chainlink are competing for the top spot week to week on that list of most active GitHub organizations in the crypto space. And thinking about the footprint that Chainlink has left, the utility that it has brought, and what it plans to bring going forward, and the amount of OGs that are in that organization. Now, it is quite a large organization at this point, probably in the thousands, where Status is certainly much smaller. But thinking about the level of developer activity that has been maintained now for 6 years, 5 years for sure, consistently at the top spot in GitHub organization activity, and probably, or maybe most significantly in my mind, the amount of support from core contributors to not just Ethereum, but all of crypto itself, and some of the foundational personalities, builders, thought leaders, real thought leaders, by the way, that are like crucial to the development of the entire crypto space, and their involvement, whether directly or indirectly or just in support of Status and the entire mission. I think it speaks volumes. And for those that know and are looking, you know, for those that are clued in, that activity really, it means something. And it means that there has been a ton of work happening very consistently for the better part of a decade. And that, as the public will soon realize what that actually means and the type of utility that is brought to them, is made available through Status and the Status app and the functionality that S&T token can give you, and its role going forward, it's something to be truly excited about. And those of you who are listening now, you're part of that. You're part of the first wave of the second generation of the group of people that are going to realize just how massive this entire thing can be and the type of impact that it can give. And it's quite exciting. And personally, far before I ever joined Status, I was very aware of it, as some of my early friends in the space were cluing me into the very inception of Status back in 2017. And things have only, so seven years ago. And to think about where things have come from, where things are now, and now with the V2 betas rolling out, it's time to get very excited. Can you feel the excitement? Tim, Crypto?
Yes.
Definitely. Yeah, you guys have, you have a lot going on, and I'm absolutely impressed with what I'm hearing. This is, like I said, this is the first for me, and I think this is really going to be very massive. So, a couple of more questions for you on the phase one of this session, and then we'll go quickly to the phase two. So, when will the final release of the Status mobile and desktop app happen? And if Status Network is approved in the vote, when will it launch?
Yeah, so August for hopefully the final releases of the applications. That's what we're aiming for. Status Network. So we need to see what the community wants us to work on, but we hope that before putting something to the vote, we've done our prep work. We've got some good options lined up for whichever items we want to start doing first. So I'm very hopeful. If that was to win, we'd have test nets out this year, sooner rather than later. And yeah, go live date. I'd imagine it would probably end up being early next year, but it could even be this year. So it's actually this year is going to be really exciting.
Awesome. So thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing, and I really believe that those listening, watching the session live, are currently pleased by what they're hearing. So we are done with all the questions, from the first phase of this session, and we would quickly be going to the second phase, which has where we'll be taking about two questions essentially, and then we will take some questions from the live segment. So the first question is talking about, is asking, the first question is saying, what Edge Status future plans, including upcoming features, releases, and expansions, and how do they envision this initiative contributing to the platform growth and influence in the market?
Oh, what have we got coming up? I mean, at this point, as we're just launching our betas and hopefully going in live in August, everything. I mean, we're attempting to build a full messenger app, so like a competitor with like Messenger, Telegram, Signal, WhatsApp. That's part of our application. We've got the community group chat space that's competing with Discord and Slack. We've got the wallet. So I mean, we've got tons and tons and tons and tons of cool functionality in there already that we're launching. things like the Discord import tool. If you've already got a Discord, you can import all of their history and channels into Status. Community history archive tools, so you can, in an entirely decentralized way, maintain that canonical history of your community and own your data without any centralized servers. I mean, we've got features and features coming out of our ears that haven't, they're just about to hit market. So initially, there's going to be a bunch of stabilization around it. There's going to be I think one thing that's particularly exciting is there's going to be some more announcements next week about XP points and how that airdrop is going to work and how that will work with S&T staking. And I think there'll be some very exciting things for S&T holders coming up over the next couple of weeks. So that's definitely something to be excited about, and Status Chain as well. Again, I know there's going to be more announcements over the next few weeks, so I don't want to say too much too early. I'm looking at Aaron's face. Have I already said too much? Hopefully not. But yeah, there's a lot
it's
of
just
stuff.
excitement.
Yeah.
Excitement that I'm conveying.
For S&T holders, there's a lot of exciting stuff coming up, and they'll be with actual applications live after all these years. And in terms of how people can contribute, so we're all open source, like everything. 100% of what Status does is open source, liberal open source licenses. We're very happy for external contributors. We have external contributors. We have bounties, many external contributors working on bounties for us. So that's an option. And going forward, we're looking, and this I would say is probably something more for next year, but we're looking at things like the community dApp plugin system, so how dApps can be hosted inside a community and can inherit the token-based permissions that we have in community chat channels. So you could have a community with a bunch of channels. Some of your channels are chat. Some of them host a dApp. It could be a voting dApp. It could be a TaskRabbit dApp. It could be any dApp you imagine. And then will be a great way for people to contribute, because they'll be able to permissionlessly, adapt existing dApps or create new dApps to plug into communities. So that's something more for next year. But yeah, I'd say this year, getting the apps live and the Status network, S&T staking, the XP points airdrops that are going to be coming up, things like that. Super exciting. Aaron?
That's one of the most exciting things for me, just to tail on what John Edgard has said. The fact that you can run a native app within a community. A native app within a community. Can you imagine? So in the paradigm
next year.
But it's one of the most exciting and sort of the most friction, or some of the most friction that I experience personally when running a Discord community, let's say, is having to make the concession to run a third, fourth, fifth, sixth party app, layers on top of layers on top of layers, all without really knowing what's happening with user data or privacy or what the risks are. But if you want to establish a token gated community, let alone a third party app that is controlling voting, you immediately, or any functionality, you immediately give up control of your privacy or users' privacy or community's privacy, and have no idea what happens to the data they're in. And so it's, for community managers and people who do that on a day-to-day basis, the type of granular control that they'll have, that's one of the things that I am most excited about, and I think shouldn't be overlooked by those who are paying attention closely.
Okay, thank you. So I just got a question now from one of the users currently on Binance. So are you guys do you guys have any plans for airdrops campaigns, or Is there any way users can actually earn from it?
Yes, and I can't say any more. But so yes, that's the shortest answer I've given. But yeah, there's more. There's a bunch of stuff coming up, which we'll be talking more about over the next weeks. Yeah, first we need to see how the vote goes. We need to see our S&T holders. Are they interested in the S&T staking? Are they interested? Or would they prefer us to work on the status chain first? Or there's the friend discovery concept, which is going to be great for growth. So yeah, first we've handed things over to S&T holders to have a say on where they'd like us to push next. I think that vote's going to run for a week, and then after we've that vote is concluded, then we'll, depending on the direction that we'll go, there'll be more stuff to announce. And we've done a bunch of work on all of these directions. It's really where do we prioritize and push first? But yeah, I can't really say too much more until next week. We'll be talking more about it, and then more after the vote as well. But yes.
All right, thank you so much. That was quite emphatic. So, what is your goal? The next question is saying, what is your goal of your project? What is the goal of your project, rather, in 2024? Any big things you like to share?
Yes, launch the products, S&T staking, status chain. We want to do all of them, really. Generate. We've been around since the ICO was back in 2017, as we were talking about a while. We're well inside the top 10. In fact, we're at the top of the top 10 projects in the entire crypto space in development activity. We haven't been compromising our principles. A lot of other people have compromised their principles around, decentralization and privacy. And the reason it's taken us a long time is because it's a really hard problem, trying to not compromise these. So after all these years of work, being one of the crypto's biggest organizations, actually, we are. But we haven't, talked much because we've had our heads down building. Not too much stuff has happened around with S&T, but now's the time. So this year, get the products out and see where we can go. In terms of the staking, the S&T, XP, there's airdrops, all the things around there.
Great stuff, great stuff. That's the second question from the live segment. So I believe he has gotten the answer to that question. So the next question is talking about the role of token in the governance of your project. So he said, what is the role of tokens in the governance of status?
Yeah, so there's a bunch of roles, and we hope there'll be more in the future. So Status, the organization, at its core, all we do is we develop open source software. And, our mission in life is to bring online freedom and liberty to the world. And in order to do this, we can't be an arbiter of anything. Literally all we do is write open source software that people run on their devices. But there are some times where decisions need to be made. For example, we have the community directory in our new apps, which features communities. What community should go into the community directory? What community shouldn't go into the community directory? Now, if we were to determine that ourselves, then we would be able to censor people. We know better than the people we're hoping to replace. So instead of that, we've got the Community Directory Curation app, which allows S&T holders to vote on what communities should be added to the Community Directory and what communities should be removed. Also, what communities they want to be featured in the Community Directory. This is an autonomous app. It runs on the blockchain. It's got a smart contract. It's nothing to do with us. And yeah, so that's one example. Another example is the voting on the new initiatives that we've just announced and that we're going to be asking S&T holders to vote on over the next few weeks. Because, you know, S&T holders, these are the people who've bought our token, who've enabled us to build these things, and they should have a say. And there'll be more things in terms of you know, public goods funding as well, and going forward, I think there's going to be a lot more opportunities for S&T holders to get directly involved in governance, and especially around the S&T staking and the status chain. Aaron?
Can you repeat the question briefly? Sorry.
Yeah, just about S&T holders, governance opportunities, and I was just talking about like the community directory and the current proposals we're asking S&T holders to vote on as you know, the first two ways, but I think there's a lot more. Well, you know, coming up if we do go with the S&T staking and public goods funding, and there's a whole bunch of things in there. I was wondering if you had any thoughts.
The community curation part of it is it's very exciting. We actually had the very first token vote for a community to be added to the directory from the most the most hardcore supporter, like non-core contributor supporter that I'm aware of, and that is the Status Inu community. And if you aren't a part of Status Inu, why not? That type of functionality is sort of being able to track the excitement around that for the community creator themselves, and really just their enthusiasm, their excitement throughout the time that I've been tracking it. It really it takes away, like, imagine Discord, like Edgard mentioned earlier, Discord shutting down the Wall Street Bets Discords, among others, and emulator or Nintendo emulator communities. It is the diametric opposite, or as close as you can get to that. If a community should or should not be featured, it is up to specifically and exclusively S&T holders, where, you know, there really isn't any other app that I am aware of. Maybe Gitcoin, but I think there is a level of control that they put over projects that they feature, though it's more or less pretty open to the public. But if you want your community featured in the directory, it is not up to any gatekeepers that built the app. And the open source nature of the tech, it would, I guess, I know what I want to say, but it's taken out of the hands of those who are building it. And it's the most true, like building a ship and then launching it at sea. It's now up to the sea and the captain of the ship being the community leaders, not those who built the ship. It is up to all of the other S&T holders to decide what is acceptable and allowable and what should be included. And it is so much closer to the sort of open source permissionless structure that the cypherpunk movement sort of idealizes, and we are going now more boldly towards that. And in terms of token utility, actual token utility, there are some out there, certainly, that come close to what was just described, but I think that S&T will be the first of its kind when we're talking about actually putting control of the ecosystem itself into the hands of those who hold the token. I'm not aware of any other system that exists such as
well, also funds as well, but probably best not to say anything about this for a week or two.
All right. So thank you so much. I think with this, we Still taking more questions. Yeah. So I've taken the last questions now from the live segment. So what makes status different from others? I think we've touched on this from the start of the AMA, but let's just give light to this question.
We're decentralized. We're permissionless. We're open source. Nobody can stop you using status. We can't stop you using status. Nobody else can stop you using status. You control your own data. You're not going through a server. Yeah, we're free. We aim to bring, we're actual free software that will bring to the people who use it freedom.
It's the only app that can actually claim all of the tenets that are usually just buzzwords. When people in the crypto and Web3 space, people love to say things like decentralized, permissionless, open source, community controlled, governance token with utility. And usually none of those things are actually true. To the point, right down the list, you could say not true, not true, not true, not true, on the roadmap. Now there's another word that people like to use, roadmap. In the case of status, everything was built with those tenets in mind, and all of those things are first-class features. And no other application can claim that I'm aware of in the crypto space, period. Actually decentralized, actually permissionless, actual utility for the token. Who else can say that? I'm not sure.
Yeah, aiming to bring, online freedom to the world by building what was the original Ethereum vision, which was actually part of the original Bitcoin, and before that, the original cypherpunk vision. Other people, have compromised and gone for, money and memes. Money and memes are great. We're going to do, there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, we're doing actual building tools for freedom that are actually free and actually decentralized. And yeah, we've been building a lot, and we haven't talked about it for many years. And but here we are. It's about to surface and see the light of day, and we're excited.
All right, thank you so much. It's been absolutely amazing with you guys, and I really enjoyed, the discussion, and I really enjoyed also your insights regarding the project. Looking forward, to more and more innovations, in your platform. And so, guys, we'd love you guys to just in case you have more questions. That's all about the questions, from the live segment. So just in case we're not able to touch on your questions, you can send your questions to all your socials currently active in Crypto Attack. So I want to say a very big thank you to you guys for coming up and answering some of our questions. But do you have any closing words for us before we wrap up?
Try it. Download Status Desktop, get the Status Mobile Beta, and watch our X, because there's a lot of exciting announcements around SNT and SNT staking and Status Network coming up in the next couple of weeks.
I think I want to congratulate all of the listeners who are here and have been paying attention and have been inspired to do something with this new information that they have. Congratulations to you for paying attention and being early. And SNT token is available all across the different areas that you are used to finding tokens, Binance being one of them. Now, before you go telling your friends about SNT token, check it out yourself. I am beyond excited to ditch Discord and to ditch Telegram. And I was reminded of why it very recently cracking a new computer and doing a fresh install of Discord, because I have to use it these days, and being reminded with a very sneaky warning about Discord is attempting to log all of my keystrokes in and outside of their app. And so more than anything else, I'm excited to join everyone in the audience on the Status app that they can find at status, status, or status dot app, and to follow ETH status on X, and to keep your eyes and ears open for all of the developments that were mentioned on this call. It is going to be a very exciting summer and fall and winter.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. And say, all right. So on behalf of Crypto Attack, I want to say a very big thank you to you guys also, and we wish to host you guys once again in future, maybe in a different platform and with a different audience. So I wish you guys the very best, and have a very good day, guys.
You too.
Thank you, folks.